Hi guys, it's the breakdown, and this is our round one review of New Zealand versus Argentina. Wow, wow, wow. I honestly think I took a massive L. I think we often underestimate the All Blacks sometimes. That was just a crushing win. Kieran, just going off the All Blacks. Wow. Wow. What did you think?
That's one way to put it. We're back, baby. That's how they're gonna put it. I think New Zealand are finally back. They're peaking at the right time. They beat a solid Argentinian team, and there's some really, really, really exciting prospects in that All Blacks team. I think they could be semi-finalists, finalists now. I would go as far as to say they could be finalists.
This is the thing with New Zealand. I think they injected a lot of new blood into that team yesterday that I was personally doubting. I thought New Zealand's pack would get absolutely crunched. They did the crunching. One of the people I was really happy to a person we both gassed up, Narrower. Julian Savea vibes I get from him. Honestly, his ball carrying, his
Yeah.
athleticism, his alertness. Like he was everywhere yesterday. Just yeah. In
I
terms of
I
yeah, you can.
I would say that New Zealand have changed their DNA at playing though. I think they've really gone to town on changing how their forwards are used, and I think they're really starting to push, that wingers kind of role into their team. Having the likes of Talia and Stevenson to come back, like I really think they're on fine form to be world champions. I do, but I would say that D-Max kicking is worrying, and I think he needs to
Yes.
get a rugby brace.
Yeah, 100%. Rugby books, get them. No, I completely agree. I don't see DMAC starting next week. I think DMAC was good in open play, but he's Mwanga is a test 10, and I think he is the New Zealand's test 10. And as much as I gassed up McKenzie against the Springboks is going to be fine margins, isn't it? That 2 points you're missing off the tee could cost you the game.
Richie Mwanga, for me, has to start next
Yeah.
week against the Springboks. I think he needs to have a field day against Libbok, the veteran versus the mid-block. I really think Richie needs to go to town with him next week, and I think he has to bully him up front and just get a grip of the game.
Look, like this is the thing. I think with McKenzie, I think he is a 15. As much as I've tried to fight his case for 10, I think he's a 15. I think him and Barrett looked really good yesterday. I think it was good that Barrett was sometimes stepping into that first receiver role, dictating play. And I think with Mwanga at 10, sometimes we don't get to see that as much. But yeah, I don't know. In terms of, would you look at that result yesterday and say it was more so New Zealand's being bad or Argentina just being abysmal? Because we cannot lie and say that there is a massive consistency problem within Argentina. They can go from beating world-class teams to just not turning up whatsoever. And I think as much as people have disrespected England, I honestly call it disrespect on England to say that England won't top the group at the World Cup, because people are saying Argentina will beat England at the World Cup. I think that's blasphemous, personally.
I think All Blacks are I wouldn't say they're any. I think they're just sitting comfortably, knowing they have a team around them and the youth and the experience. And I think we talk about the McCaws and the Carter of the world. Are we looking at it and saying it's going to be the RDs and the Bowden Barretts of the world this game, like and the Ricky Iowanis? Is this going to be the World Cup that we're going to be talking about in 4 years' time, saying that they were written off, but they came back to win? I think they can do it, and I hope they can as well, because they're a team that have been written off all the last 4 years, but I think they can do it, and I don't have that same energy with Springboks.
What in terms of beating France opening day, I'm gonna ask you this question. I know you backed the All Blacks. Do you see that happening now? Personally, can it happen? Can
Yeah,
they beat France?
yeah, yeah,
Opening game of the World Cup.
yeah, yeah. They will shock the world by beating France. Everyone's talking about France all the time. New Zealand come that opening World Cup, doesn't matter how many fans in the stadium, New Zealand will come out victorious. They just got that thing about them. They got the grip between the teeth.
Well, this is the thing. I think yesterday what surprised me, and you were talking about this as well, New Zealand were playing through the forwards at some points, and I was just like, wow. Like, they've got this duality now with this team where you get the ball out the back, you've got Rico Ioane, you've got Geordie Barrett, you've got Narrower, you're going to have Talia, right? And then in the forward pack as well, Sam Kane putting in shots, Ardie Savea with his ball carrying ability. Do you think this is what maybe is going to be the difference maker at a World Cup in terms of having dual styles of play? Do you think that's what New Zealand have maybe added in the process now, building up to the World Cup?
Yeah, I think they've always had that element. That's why they've been the best team in the world for literally years now. But they're really fine tuning how they're playing, and I think they've got a really nice balance in how they want to play now, with the fast backs and the good forwards. And Scott Barrett yesterday had a phenomenal game. I thought he was phenomenal.
But this is interesting. New Zealand still have people to come back. You're looking at the lock combination. You're looking at Talia. You're looking at Mwanga at 10. Are we only going to see the? Are you looking at this as a case of the All Blacks are only going to get stronger next week heading into that South Africa Test fixture?
Yeah, they can only add to it. They can't really go down unless they have a catastrophic L next week. They only go one way.
We talked about New Zealand for so long. Argentina, Jesus Christ. I mean, what? Like, I personally think Argentina lost. I can't even give a reason. I don't even know. What did they even do well yesterday, Argentina? Could you even give them a compliment after that performance yesterday?
Not really. I mean, like, what do you say about that? Like, at the end of the day, it was so promising. We looked at the team sheets, looked promising. We looked at how their recent performances in the Rugby Championship, promising. They got out there, and it's men versus boys. It was just silly. Like, how would you go forward next week playing the Australians?
I don't think they go forward. I think they get humbled. I genuinely think they get humbled. I think we talk about I think for me, it's a lack of patience from the Argentines. They'll get into promising positions and just try something audacious. I'm not sure if you saw it. There was a massive try opportunity they had in the first half. I think they were 5 meters out. I think Carreras flings a long pass. Winger doesn't cut inside and tries to beat the man outside, and he gets tackled by Bowden Barron. I think Ioane into touch. And we talk about world-class teams. World-class teams have that composure to not get jumpy when they see the opportunity, to maybe say, you know what, we're going to play it through the forwards a bit. Let's wait for the space to open up a bit. But this, in my opinion, cannot be seen as anything less than a huge dent in the Argentine World Cup campaign. That's what I personally think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was thinking before going into the championship, if they can find some form in this Rugby Championship, you know, play the best teams, play the South Africans, play the New Zealands, and then go into the World Cup, they have a really solid chance. They've just proved they played the All Blacks and they got smoked. I think it was a very humbling and eye-opening experience for the Argentines, and I think they've got troubled waters right now. I really do.
Yeah, you pretty well. To be fair, look, this is another thing I think you were right on is Buffele, because I think this about Buffele, right? And this is my take. When there's no kicking involved, Jesus Christ, he is mid. I think he's a player that we've inflated his reputation because of how well he kicks. But as soon as there's no goal kicking, what does he actually do? I don't understand.
But even when there was goal kicking, he missed them.
Yeah, that again.
Like literally 80 minutes. I know it's irrelevant, but 80 minutes he has a kick to go out on a bit of a high and he misses it. We always talk about Buffele, and I've always kind of half agreed with you because I didn't know too much about him. But I watched him yesterday and I didn't see anything that warrants him being in the top 10 wingers.
Yeah, that's valid. That's honestly valid, because I think with top 10 wingers, with guys like Narawa, with guys like Talia, with guys like Arenza, Jordan, James Lowe, we're talking about wingers that have a skill.
Corabetti.
I would honestly say, would you liken Buffele's kicking to Zamet's pace, in the sense that is one very, very, very good attribute he has, but then outside of that attribute, he's decent. Do you know what I mean? Like everything else is all right, but all he has is a kicking. Would you put it to that level?
I mean, yeah, I think you are right. I think it's one skill and it's a one trick pony. I didn't see anything in attack, anything in defense, anything either side of the ball that warrants him being in this world class category. Anything but good. So I would go as far as to say let's not hype him up now. He's got to earn his stripes again, in my opinion. Yes, he's a world class player. He was a world class player. But I don't think he's that anymore. And I think you're seeing a different type of winger coming in and really discrediting what Buffele does. Because I don't think the kicking, when you've got other players on the pitch like Carreras and stuff that can kick, is it that important? And when he does kick, he missed. So, come on, we've got to be realistic about it now.
The only player for me in the Argentina team that showed some fight, that showed some passion, was Carreras. You could see him bloodied up, running after the ball hard. He was trying to make something happen, but if it's 1 versus 15, you can't do anything. You what can you do? The All Blacks dominated the Argentine pack at scrum time, and as you said at the start, it was literally men versus boys.
Yeah, I mean it did show the three-time world champions are playing a zero-time champions. Like it's very very, very, decisive on where like he was going to win, and I could tell you he was going to win before the game. But leading on to it, they both got hard games next week.
Yeah, we had to give some. If I had to give a prediction for next week, I personally don't think we've seen the All Blacks tested so far. I don't think that match was a test for the All Blacks.
I'll tell you exactly. I say New Zealand are going to win by 10, and Argentina are going to win by like 5.
I'm gonna go the other way and say South Africa win by 10, and I'm gonna have the Wallabies by 12. I'm gonna have the Wallabies by 12. I think Eddie Jones is gonna hit the ground running next week, get some form. I think the Wallabies are gonna challenge New Zealand on the last game and win in Australia. I think that's gonna happen. But yeah, in terms of that analysis, guys, it's been the Breakdown Rugby podcast. This has been our analysis of New Zealand versus Argentina in round 1 of the Rugby Championship. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and post notifications for next week when we give our round 2 analysis of South Africa versus New Zealand, the big test fixture. From us to you guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Bye.